there, storytellers! Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you can see from the title, is going to be a very simple September TBR. Now, normally, I don't do TBRs because I feel like they set strict limits and you never stick to them anyway, or at least I don't. This is breaking my norm. I usually don't think about what I want to read too far in advance, but I have some things that I really want to get to, so I felt like I could confidently make a September TBR. So let's dive right on into it. I am going to be kicking things off with 3 books that I have already started and therefore will be finishing in September one way or another, but I really want to finish them sometime soon because I have so many other books I want to get to. The first book I've talked about recently, and that is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. This follows 2 sort of adoptive sisters, Tavia and Effie, both of whom are young black girls, which is already enough of a struggle. Tavia is a siren, which is probably the worst thing you could possibly be in their society. Sirens are viewed as dangerous and manipulative and not to be trusted, which is ridiculous just because they have a power to sort of make people do what they want with their siren call. Doesn't mean they're going to use it for evil, of course. That is the point. But Effie, on the flip side, is also sort of discovering who she really is. She is literally going through a sort of physical and emotional and mental transformation, who she is as a person and who she thinks she's supposed to be. I don't know how well those are going to match up and align. I'm about halfway through right now, so I hope to finish this one very, very soon. It's flying by when I do remember to pick it up, but I've been spacey. I went all of August without actually finishing a book because sometimes you get in a reader slump and you don't even mean to. So that's what happened there. Gonna finish this one soon. I'm really enjoying it. It's a really sort of gentle, seamless blend of contemporary and fantasy at the same time. It's very believable that these are sort of magical creatures that exist within the world we see outside every day. They've both sort of hit the apex where things are about to start going down for them, but I have to say I'm a little bit more interested in Effie's sort of becoming who she really is versus Tavia, who already is a siren and is just facing a really tough, life-threatening situation, which is gonna be dramatic on its own, but I have theories about what Effie really is, and I'm interested to see if I'm anywhere near right. The next book that I'm going to finish up in September is Cursed by Thomas Wheeler. This follows the story of Nimue. For those of you who don't know, Nimue is a very powerful sorceress within Arthurian legend. She is the one said to have trapped Merlin in a tree to slumber, I think, for a while. A long, long time. I don't remember if it's like forever or if it's just a good couple centuries. What's the difference, really? This follows young Nimue, who has only just met Arthur, I believe, who is not currently sort of Prince of Camelot, royalty extraordinaire. Merlin is an old drunk, basically, who has lost his powers. It is a flip on Arthurian legend entirely, but the Sword of Constant is our Excalibur, or the Sword of Destiny, and in this case, the sword picks Nimue instead of Arthur, which is an interpretation I have never heard until now, and it's very interesting. I'm in chapter 23 right now, so I'm not quite halfway, but I'm getting there. Nimue is angry, which is the point of this whole story. Crusaders have come and destroyed her village and hurt people she cares about. Now she wants revenge on these crusaders and the sort of religious figures that persecuted those who were believed to have magic during this time period. I'm usually all about a revenge quest. Nimue, I haven't quite warmed up to her yet. She starts off kind of gruff and unapproachable, I guess is the best way to say it. She's one that I think you're rooting for, but you don't necessarily love her too much. We'll see. I'm interested to see what kind of journey she goes on, how this Sword Destiny quest thing plays out. This is definitely going to be the next one I'm going to finish in September. I have been listening to this one at work on audiobook. I obviously have the physical copy as well, so I can juggle it back and forth, but I am definitely going to finish it up very soon. Next is one I started a while ago, like not too long after it first came out. Got 4 chapters in and took a big old snooze on it, and that is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, which is the first in the Last Hours trilogy. Chain of Gold follows Cordelia Carstairs, who is our main heroine. That's her with the beautiful fall maple leaf hair thing going on. Very aesthetic. It follows Cordelia as she goes to London with her brother after their father has been accused of a huge, unforgivable crime in the Shadowhunter community. They go to London in order to sort of boost their reputation. Cordelia's mother wants to marry her off. Cordelia wants to be the hero of her own story. She also meets the son of Tessa and Will Herondale, James, who she is in love with and is also friends with, and his sister Lucy, who is Cordelia's best friend. And London deals with demons that it has never seen before, so the Shadowhunters are sort of, the young ones are dealing with their own growing up issues in addition to dealing with demons they have never seen before, and that's all I know because I didn't get very far. I might restart it just to sort of get my brain back into where it's supposed to be since I'm not that far into it. But yes, it's a big old tome, so it's going to take me a minute. So if I don't finish this month, I'm not going to be that surprised, but I'm hoping to. Next up on my TBR for September is a reread. Now, I know what you're saying, Mary. You just said you had tons of books that you want to get to. Why would you reread something? I hear you. It sounds crazy. I get it. But around this time of year, and usually around the start of summer, I tend to think of this one book, and I really enjoy it, and it's a super short, quick read, which is why I'm going to give it a reread, and that is Avalon High by Meg Cabot. I have talked about this in a previous video, I know I have, as one of my favorite books of all time. It is a modern adaptation of Arthurian legend. Can you sense an Arthur theme? I told you, I like it a lot. This follows the main character, Ellie, who moves to Avalon, which I believe is near the Naval Academy in Maryland. She meets young Will Wagner, who sort of is everything she imagines Arthur would embody as a human being, and she's not wrong because, spoiler alert, Will is the reincarnation of King Arthur, and Ellie herself is also a reincarnation of an Arthurian figure. Because Ellie's character that she's reincarnated as makes an appearance, it changes the entire outcome from what decades past have been, because Arthur just keeps reincarnating to save the world and lift it from the Dark Ages, except the Dark Ages keep winning until now. But like I said, I absolutely love this book. I've read it so many times. I have the audiobook. I fly through it on double speed. It takes me like maybe a day or two to finish it. I'm definitely going to give it a reread just to sort of get it out of my brain so that I can move on to other books and I can stop thinking about it, because I'm just going to keep thinking about it until I give in. So might as well get it over with now. Next up, I have another reread. I know, but this one is for a reason, I promise, and that is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. This follows our main heroine, En Salta, as she travels to the city of New Rains in search of her mother. While she's there, she encounters Levi Glacier, who is one of the lords of the City of Sin. Essentially, think Atlantic City, Vegas, those kinds of vibes. The Ritz and the rich and the gambling galore is basically the vibes you're going for, except there's also magic. And En's magic, as it emerges, is something very different than sort of the common magic, even among the elite in the city. As we progress through this journey and En keeps looking for her mother, she grows in her power and in her confidence within herself, and she learns she might not be the lady her mother always tried to make her. But was that for her own protection? It might have been. The sequel came out a while ago, but the third book in the Shadow Game trilogy just came out the other day, and I want to read it. And since I have only ever read the first book, I can't read the last book. I have to start at least with the sequel, but it's been like a year, I think, if not longer, since I've read Ace of Shades, so my mind definitely does not have the story clear as day in it anymore, so that is why I'm going to give this one a reread in September. Like I said, next up in my September TBR is King of Fools, also by Amanda Foody. This follows Levi and N after, I think, directly after the events and the sort of ending of the first book, Ace of Shades. I don't know anything about it. I didn't want to spoil any surprises and twists for myself. All I know is that the two get further entangled into the city of sin and its con artists and its wealthy families and its mafia families, and all kinds of trouble is sure to ensue. Especially because I do remember the big reveal at the end of Ace of Shades, and I'm pretty sure it's only gonna get crazier from there. Last up in my September TBR, at least the books that I am confident I am going to get to. I have many others I want to read, like I said, but I'm reaching only kind of high. Most of them are ones I've either already started or ones I can sort of reread on audiobook and won't take too long to finish. So I'm cheating a little bit, but that's okay. Last up is Queen of Vaults by Amanda Foody, and the tagline is "Break the world and make your own," and I love it. I have not read the dust jacket for this one at all, so I can only imagine that everything's gonna get super duper wild and N's gonna be powerful and crazy and awesome. The last book that I hope to get to in September is obviously the conclusion to the Shadow Games trilogy. So that's that. I don't have too much to say about this one because, like I said, I know nothing about it. I chose not to. So that concludes my September TBR. If you have any suggestions for other books that I could read that are fall vibes, I would love it. And if you want to keep up with me and all of my bookish adventures, you can always click the subscribe button, and you can always ring the little bell so that you don't miss a beat. I am going to go. I will catch you guys next week. Bye!